I want to do a check-in because I told you I was going to take you on this journey with me. It is day 4, and I want to give you a little summary of how today went, but then at the same time, you know, I got to share some nuggets with you, and then I'm going to be up off of here. I didn't come to hold you long. I am literally on here, guys, to, of course, tell you I appreciate you so much. We are getting, what, the end of a whole year. How crazy is that? 2020 is coming to a close, and even when I think about it, I feel so emotional because of everything that went on. So much has happened with so many different people, and even myself, right? So at the end of the day, we're here. So happy new year to every last one of you guys. I hope that this upcoming year brings you all things that are for your good that you desire. The things that are not for your good, and sometimes we desire them anyway, I hope that they do not happen for you. Okay? What up, though? Guys, so I'm going to get right into it. Update, though. Remember what I said. 2021 is going to be a total different thing. We're going to be appearing different. We're going to be showing up different. And I will still be accessible, but it'll be in a different way and a different platform, and you guys will be able to have different experiences with me, because just as I did, you guys should do the same thing. I encourage you to do the same thing. What is that? It is simply you identifying what worked for you. Is you, hey ma, is you identifying not only what worked for you, but also you should be able to understand that what did not grow you did not help you. And what I had to learn, and what was a challenge for me, is I'm a giver by nature, and I always desire to be there for people, to give, to motivate, to encourage, to inspire, to empower, all of that stuff. And I will always do it. It will always be the core and the essence of who I am, because it's just who I am. But at the same time, I also had to understand that there has to come a time when you set boundaries of allowing people to always pull, to always drain, and to always take, to always withdraw. Just because you're able to do it, just because you are available to do it or can make yourself available to do it, does not mean that you should. And I want you guys to take from that lesson as well, right? So today, baby, got there, all was well. As I told you guys, you know, everything is very new. And I told you that I am assessing things. When I go into any environment, I always assess things. And in my assessment, because this will be the end of the week for me, but in my assessment, I found out that a lot of people were new in their role. And I also found out that it wasn't a lot of training and a lot of expectations set. It wasn't a lot of development put into getting people acclimated to things. So it's 3 things that you have to understand, and it's also 3 things that I shared with them on today. First of all, you know, you become frustrated because I'm doing all I can and nobody else is doing what they need to do, or I'm the only one trying to do the right thing, or nobody wants to listen to my ideas, or we keep going in circles. It's always something, right? But if I can ask you what is required, if I can ask you what the strategy is, if I can ask you what the goal is, and you can't answer me, it lets me know that you are not as prepared as you thought you were. Come on now, ma. Period. 2021 out of there, right? So if you are in a position, or if you are in a role, I'm talking about at your job or whatever, you know, if you have not, number one, read the policy and procedure so you can at least be acclimated to what is required from you. If you Well, I'm sorry, the job description. That's number one. What is your job description? What is required of you? You was like, they asking me to do everything. Well, what is everything? Everything might be in your job description. You might just be lazy and not used to having to be accountable. And now that people making you do what you lied on your resume and said you can do, you feel you feeling some kind of way. Read your job description. That's number one. Number two, what is the policy and procedure? Whatever you are required to do, what is the policy and the procedure for it? That's 2 and 3. Policy and procedure is number 3. People say policy and procedure and they run it together, but you need to understand it's 2 different things. The policy is what you need to do, what you're expected to do. When they hit you with, and you shall, it's almost like the word, baby. That means you better. Okay, it means it's not negotiable. The procedure is how you will do that thing, how it's broken down. Like you do this first, this second, this third. You understand? So what is your job description? What's required of you? Okay, what are you obligated to do? And with that obligation comes a policy. If you want me to do this, you got to tell me how to do it. You got to tell me what that looks like. And then the procedure is you got to walk this thing out. How can I have a checklist? How can I show you with a return demonstration that I understand if you have not educated me, if I have not had access to whatever it is that I need to have done? Right? So at the end of the day, that was the aha moment today. It was overwhelming and frustrating for a lot of people. And I just quickly was like, hey, let's talk about it. So what is your job description? And the answers began to come a little slower. Where can I find a policy on that? They had no idea. Where's the procedure with that? And they thought it was the same thing as the policy. So at the end of the day, lack of knowledge will have you in a place of stagnation. It will have you feeling like you're not able to do something. It'll have you feeling like you're in the wrong position. But at the same time, it is not the lack of knowledge because nobody told you. It can also be contributed to the fact that you never tried to seek out the answer. So I'm going to say this to you as well. Some things a person won't tell you because they will automatically assume that you know. They will automatically assume that you are equipped with it. All of us need help with something sometime. So if you are a person that desire to grow, you are a person that desire to go to your next level, you are a person that desires to win, you have to equip yourself. You got to ask questions, and not only just ask questions, you got to ask the right questions, and you got to get involved, period. So today was more of just giving direction, encouraging, and motivating. Then like the mindset, everything is so net. How your day going? Terrible. Oh, when did that start? It started this morning. Oh, it started before breakfast. Yeah, it started before breakfast. I said, oh, it's about time for dinner. So you done had an angry breakfast and an aggressive lunch all from this morning. That's what we're doing. We're going to carry our anger. We got long distance anger, prolonged anger. We just mad and we're going to stay mad because that happened this morning and you still don't appreciate it. Guess what? The time has changed. We have went to saying good morning to saying good afternoon, and you still feel the same way that morning conditioned you to feel. Some of y'all need to get a mindset that, okay, when things change, if I can't do anything to change it, then I need to change the way I look at things, or you'll just be angry every time you get ready to eat. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. It ain't gonna change a thing. I don't care how mad you get. I don't care how aggressive you get. It's not going to change anything. So you have to change the way you see things, and you got to change your mindset. Your perception has to change. And my mama used to always tell me, well, if it bothers you that bad, you need to either leave or you need to start your own. And if you're not a person that's willing to listen, you're not trying to grow, you're not trying to do whatever you need to do to develop yourself, ain't no need to start your own because it's going to fail. I'm just trying to love you through it, that's all. So in understanding that and going through that on a day, as y'all see, I used to be on at 7, and now it's almost 9 o'clock because things are different. Things will shift. It's just what it is. You have to change the way you look at things. I even talked to one of my kids today. They was hot. They was going off. They was all this random stuff and all this other mess or whatever. To the point they forgot I was on the phone. You forgot I was on, you so hot. You forgot that I was on the phone, that you going off, and then I promise you I heard 2 cuss words. I know for sure, because I was a cussing connoisseur, so I can hear it, even if you try to muffle the phone. So the aha moment for me was, I need to change my perception, and I need to hang up the phone, because some type of way, something had invaded your body and took your whole mind out your head. You had to lose your mind for you to be talking foolish like that, knowing that your mama was on the phone. Now, I could have just stayed on the phone and got madder and madder, kept hollering in the phone to get your attention, or I can make a strong statement by hanging up, and whenever you come back to it, and whenever the little mind angel drop your brain back in your head, and you understand, oh, she ain't here no more, then now you shall seek and find. So when you call me back, and you want to ask me the question, Ma, why you hang up? Why would I hold on? A lot of y'all holding on to some foolishness. A lot of y'all are allowing yourself, hey Liz, how are you, sugar? A lot of y'all are allowing yourself to hear things that's going to tear you down. You listen to things that's going to bother you. You listening to things that's overwhelming you. You're listening to things that are grieving you, and you don't have the capacity to do other things to replace those things. So what do? You sit right there, and that stuff starts going in your mind over and over and over again. So when he called back with his non-medicated self, because I'm telling you right now, they appeal for it, and they definitely a diagnosis. I believe in prayer, but sometimes a prayer and a pill is the combination that you need. You understand me? I'm that type of person. I have faith. Yes, I do. But I also have faith in the things that he's put down here for us. And that's that on that. Thank you, Kevin. That's that on that. You understand? So you could tell he was spiraling that. And then this happened, Mom. And then I was thinking about this, and then I'm just gonna do this, and then I'm just gonna focus on this and that. First of all, sir, you're not focusing on anything. So you know what I did? I asked him, what's your job description? What are you talking about? What's your job description? I ain't got to work today. What's your job description as it pertains to me? Because all of us have jobs. I'm here to help y'all right now. All of us have jobs. You have a job to do in everybody's life that you're in. What is your job description as my son? Ma, what kind of question is that? You need to answer it before you get fired, sir. What's your job description as my son? I don't know, you had me. Yep, and now that you're here, what's your job description? I don't know, what does the word tell you need to do? He said, in order for me to have, my days to be long on the earth, and I got to, honor and respect your, hold that thought right there. You have to honor and respect your mama. So your days will be longer, and I won't have to shorten them for you, because he didn't tell you how you was going to leave, because you done lost your mind. And I know good and hell well you didn't forget that I was on that phone. And if you did, you need to definitely be on something to help you focus. Huh? Now that we know what your job description is, what is the policy? Ain't nothing written down to tell me what are the lies, sir. Where did you just tell me that you got your job description from? Where did that come from? It came from the Bible. There we go. When the last time you read the word? Huh? What happened? When the last time? Huh? Is you breathing hard? You don't have asthma, sir. Answer me. What's good? Ma, see, that's what I'm saying. You don't think nobody be reading. I do be reading. Sorry, guys. Somebody trying to log into my email address somewhere in South Carolina. They said, is that you? I said, no. No. I do be reading. What do you be reading, though? What are you feeding your mind? Why are you always this excitable? Why are you always angry? Why you have all of this anxiety? What you listen to will feed you. What you feed will grow. I'm telling you right now. These look fake thug seeds you sowing, it comes up. And then you forget who you talking to because that's the mindset that you have. So now that we know you find a policy, what is the procedure? What is the procedure? I'm talking about don't be too hard on them. I hadn't been hard enough. What is the procedure? This is the problem. This right here is where we lack. We good to tell somebody what they supposed to do, what we want for them. Let me say that. We good to tell somebody what we want for them. We good to tell somebody what they need to do. But when it comes to that procedure part, when you got to break it down, when you got to let them know exactly what, that's where we fall short, because we really don't know what it looks like either, because you haven't experienced it before. But because I've experienced being a mom, I've experienced making bad decisions, I've experienced not doing the best, I experienced overcompensating, I've experienced all of these different things. Guess what? At the end of the day, because I have experienced it, I can now let you know how you can serve me. I can let you know how I can serve you. What we forget a lot of times, guys, is this. Although, yeah, I'm mama, you son. Please don't get your head rocked. I have to also understand this too. He's an adult. According to the law, he's still my baby. But at the same time, when God looked down at us, I'm a servant and he a servant. So he's going to look at how I handle his servant. He's going to look at how his servant handled me. He's going to look at the way we treat each other. He's going to look at the relationships that we build. He's going to look at the way we speak to each other. Are you speaking life or are you speaking death? I used to go off. I used to yell. I used to cuss you all the way out, especially if I gave birth to you, because you done lost your butt to bop mind, right? But I did that because it was patterned at how I used to hear conversations being had in the environment that I was in. And it wasn't because that's how my parents talked, because my daddy, I didn't even know my daddy knew what cussing was. I knew that he knew what it was because my mama was an amazing cusser. Until she stopped, She stopped cussing, and then she still had a slick mouth. So that's how I learned how to have an anointed clapback without even cussing. That's what she told me. She said, baby, you can get your point across without saying not nary cuss word. That's what she said. Not nary one. And you can let a person know exactly how you feel. So when I was able to learn how to do that, woo, I said, the Lord is good to me. Good to me. He's better than good, right? So at the end of the day, guys, hey to everybody who's saying hello, thank y'all for those stars. At the end of the day, I need y'all to understand this, and this is not just because it's the end of the year. I tell you guys this all the time. I tell you this all the time. You have to set boundaries, family. You have to set standards. You got to stop being so open and willing to accept everything and anything. Just because you don't want a person to leave out of your life. Or just because you want to make a certain impact in another person's life. At the end of the day, if you don't have the understanding that what you tolerate will expand. What you tolerate will expand. A lot of it is stuff we allow to go on. A lot of it is stuff we hadn't said no to. A lot of it is simply because we hadn't put a stop to it. A lot of you holding on to stuff simply because you trying to do a certain thing, and you trying to do this certain thing. You trying to hold on to a relationship. You doing all of these things simply because you don't want to lose a certain type of relationship or friendship. You don't want to rock the boat. But you got to understand, the only reason why they own the boat is because you the one that's doing all of the paddling. They're not doing anything. They're not exerting any type of energy. They don't have any focus. They don't have any skin in the game. They just there for the ride. But if you stop giving free rides, how many people gonna get out? Three things. Y'all know how I roll. Three things. Why do they keep doing that, bro? Three things. Y'all give me number one. I'm going to give y'all these things, and I'm going to get up off of here. I'm going to give y'all these things and I'm going to get up off of here. Baby, it's about to be 2021. I count it all joy. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for who you have been in my life. I can't thank you guys enough for being consistent with showing up for me. I can't thank you guys enough for loving me, for encouraging me, for motivating me. Even the ones on here that's looking to have something to say, I'm appreciative of you because you keep me on my toes. Not because I got to look over my shoulder, I got to worry about what you're going to say, but it lets me know that I gotta be doing something right. Because anytime everybody likes you or everybody is rocking with you, it means you have more than one face. Because whenever you stand for something, that means you gotta stand against something else, right? So number one, oh, let me show y'all something. Somebody tried to check my fresh, right? No matter what letter you give me, I will be able, well, most of the letters anyway, unless you try to give me some ridiculous mess like an X, and then I'm just going to exit your response. But if you give me a letter, I can come up with a word to give you three different things, right? And they were throwing those at me. And I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sweet with this. I'm pretty sweet with this. So you don't even know what I'm about to talk about right now. But I want to get you guys to give me a letter. Pamela gave me P. Somebody give me a letter. I used P already though. CJ gave me C. Y'all give me a letter. And I'm going to choose one of these letters. And then I'm going to shoot straight from the hip. And we're going to be up out of here. Thank you so much, Monty. Uh-oh. Karina gave me a G. Krishana gave me a T. G, T, a J. Kim Yetta gave me a Z. You must be sleeping. Love you too, Kevin. Oh, we got some J's over. Oh, we got C and T over here. L. Lord, now I got a lot of them. Love you back, Vanessa. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to see. I got a M, L, M, E. Y'all tell me which, y'all don't put no more in there. Y'all tell me which letter did you hear the most of, okay? So, bruh, stop. I'm going to start at, boom, Veronica, because that's my mom's name. Veronica said D, so we're going to start with that, and y'all tell me which letter you hear the most of, okay? So hold up. When I say which letter, y'all give me the answer. Here we go. D, D, L, S, J, F, P, S, T, M, L, M, E, Z, D, L, J, J, J. Let me make sure they ain't the same person. Okay. J, T, G, C, P. Which letter did y'all hear the most? And don't tell me to say it again, because it's going to run together. Which letter did y'all hear the most? I know the one in my head that I think we heard the most. Pamela said she heard D and J the most. Deborah said she heard D the most. JS, you a mess. J, D, okay. Over here, okay. This what we're going to do. They said J, I think. Okay. This is what we're going to do. The winning letter is J. We heard, okay, we got J and we got D. How about that? Y'all going to get a double dose. Y'all going to get a double dose. Let me wind up my superpowers. I should have had me some music. Okay, we'll start with D first because D comes first in the alphabet. Oh, DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ. We'll start with D first. All right, guys, give me a number one. We're going to start with D first. Lord, give me something. I got D and J. All right, number one. I got a number one over there. Listen, the first thing you have to do, listen to me. Y'all know I always be rocking with you. You know I love you. But y'all all over the place. You're doing too much. And you doing a whole lot of nothing. The only thing you consistent with is being inconsistent. You're not clear with things, but you really know what you need to do. So the first thing I want to give you is, baby, you got to make a decision. You have to make a decision. Make a decision with the people in your life. Make a decision with the position that you're in your life. Make a decision with the proximity in your life. What does that mean? I don't care if it's a friend, if it's a foe, if it's business, if it's at work, whatever it is. The people who are around you, I promise you, you will become one of. So you have to make a decision. Are they serving me? Or are they doing me an injustice? Are they adding or are they subtracting? It's either or. It's no in between. It's no in between. Okay? The position that you're in life, I don't care if it's your job. Are you happy with it? Do you want to stay there and get better in what it is you're doing? Are you ready to go to your next level? You ready to, advance? What does that require? What do you need to do? What do you need to build in order for you to do that? The position that you're in that relationship or in that friendship, how does it make you feel? Do you feel like you're out of place? Do you feel like you're being used? Do you feel like you're being overlooked? What does that look like for you? And you be honest with yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. You saying all of these things about how wonderful somebody treating you, how they doing this and how they doing that, knowing good and hell well you sent yourself them roses. Knowing good and well you the one that's paying for everything that you got going on. You can't even get him to halfway do right by himself, let alone doing right by you. I need you to be real with yourself. Enough is enough. Your proximity, listen to me. Until you decide that you're going to grow, until you decide that you're going to expand, until you believe that you can actually do it, you will continue to be right where you are. Ain't no need for you praying about the Jabez, and nobody else's Baz prayer if you ain't going to get off your Baz. How about that? Number one, you got to decide. You have to decide. Decision is so important. Number two, put number two in the comment bar. Number two in the comment bar. Number two. Thank you, Karina. Where my number two at on IG? Thank you, Deborah. Listen, number two, baby, you have to discover everything on the inside of you that you are great at, that you are good at, that will add to that thing that you decided to do. You got to discover that thing that put a smile on your face. You have to discover the things that you have decided that you are no longer going to allow to come against you. You have to discover the essence on the inside of you. And if you can't think about something about yourself to put a smile on your face, it means you have have to do more self-discovery. You got to read, what does the word say about you? Who does he say that you are? What are you doing to build yourself up personally? How are you developing yourself from the inside out? What does that look like? You have to discover some amazing things about yourself, because if you don't see the amazing things about yourself and the things that you have on the inside, number one, you won't believe it when somebody telling you the truth. You think that they trying to take advantage of you. You think they just telling you that trying to be funny, because you don't see it as being true for yourself. So number two is discovery, baby. You need to discover who you are for real. Not what that joker said about you. Not what your family said about you. Not what a bitter friend said about you. A pissy co-worker said about you. None of that mess. Everybody has a superpower on the inside of them. You have something about you that nobody else can touch. There's something that makes you unique. You have to discover what that thing is. And guess what? It is easier for you to discover it after you decide which path you're trying to take. It's easier. Right? Number three. Number three. Number three. Miss Deborah on it over here. What is that, Fayetta? Listen, number three, baby, you have to get dedicated. You have to get dedicated. You will not reach the place you want to reach. You will not achieve the things you want to achieve if you are not dedicated to yourself. You are dedicating yourself to others and to other things. Bump all of that, baby. You first this time. It's about you this time. You have to become dedicated, and dedicated enough to stick with whatever it is you decided to do. What are you willing to dedicate? How much time are you willing to dedicate to it? Your dedication is huge, but I want you to be dedicated to yourself. You allow other people to come and have piss poor performances in your life. You allow other people to come half-stepping. You allow other people to come just to give you a little bit. You allow other people to come and play these games in your life because you're not dedicated to yourself. So if you're not dedicated to yourself, baby, you're not going to hold anybody else accountable and make them be dedicated, because you're not doing it for yourself. You cannot expect from other people what you're not willing to give to yourself. Throw them D's on them. Let's get them J's, though. Let's get them J's, though. All right. Where we going with the J's? Let's see. I told you what you need to do with the D's. Now I'm going to tell you what you need to stop with the J's. Ooh, that girl creative. Hercules. Hey. I told you you needed to decide. I told you you need to discover. And I told you that you need to become dedicated. Y'all know I'll walk y'all backwards, right? So because I'm going to walk y'all... Look, I'm coming off the dome with this, so I might need to write this down. I told you you need to... I told you you need to decide. I told you you need to discover. And I told you you need to dedicate. So watch how I walk this backwards, though, guys. I said decide, discover, and dedicate. And then I gave it to you like that because y'all be trying to do too much. Y'all always be trying to think about what I'm thinking and try to fill in my blanks. You don't know my sentence, okay? Stop that. So let's walk backwards. Let's walk backwards. There we go. If you choose to become dedicated to yourself, you choose to become laser focused. You choose to put yourself first. You have now made the ultimate choice that whatever it requires, you are dedicated to do it. And because now you are dedicated, now you're able and in a position to discover the thing that you desire. You are able to discover your opportunities. You're able to discover the possibilities. And that thing is huge. And now that you have discovery, and now that you see these different things, it's time for you to decide. Ooh, that girl walked backwards. It's time for you to decide with your amazing self. And now that you have decided, we're going to go into them J's. Now, Jesus ain't going to be now one of the J's. He's in everything. He's over everything. So what is profound doesn't need to be spoken. Right? He's covering it all. Nah. I said the J's are the things you need to stop. The J's are the things you need to stop. So the first thing is this right here. Justifying. Stop trying to justify yourself. You always feel like you got to prove yourself. You got to prove your point. You got to show somebody. Stop trying to justify yourself. You have nothing to justify to people who are not building you up. They're not adding value. They're not doing any of that stuff. And then when you get in a room where you actually need to show up, you actually need to show your abilities, show your skills, your talents, your gifts, and all of the goodness you have to offer, you get offended. Because, I got to prove myself. You darn right you got to prove yourself. These people don't know you. These people have what you desire. But you are so hell bent on justifying to a lot of people who are doing nothing at all to serve you now that you have things mixed up. Stop trying to justify yourself. Stop trying to be all to somebody who could care less if you're even there. It is time out for you doing that foolishness. You have to stop allowing unqualified people to disqualify you. Enough is enough. Stop letting unqualified people disqualify you. Number two. Number two. Number two. I don't know what you're asking me to say again, Miss Annie. Number two. Number two. Baby, you have to stop judging people. You have to stop judging people. When I say stop judging, people get observing and judging totally mixed up. If I see you stealing and I say you a thief, I'm not judging you. I observe you steal. That's observation, baby. That is an assessment. You understand? So you gotta, you get it through your head. If you are out here and you lying every other sentence that you're saying, nobody's judging you by calling you a liar. That's what you do. You lie. If you a person that always show up late and tardy, and they say you ain't never on time, see, they always judging me. That's not judging. That's observation. What I'm telling you is this. If you do not know about a person, if a person, you have not experienced that person, you have not communicated with this person, you should not just assume from looking on the outside. You shouldn't just assume just because they look a certain way, they present a certain way, they smell a certain way, they talk a certain way. You want to judge them according to your past experiences. Yeah, you're going to keep things in the back of your mind so that you can be alert, so that you won't repeat patterns. But y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. The ones of you like to compare. You like to say, oh no, they can't do that because that other person didn't do this, and look at them, they don't even look like they can do that. Oh, is that what we doing? Stop judging people. The same way that you judge them, you're going to be judged according to the same measure. We like to forget about that. With your negative thinking self. The mindset. The mindset. Who can think of what number 3 is? Because number 3 is huge. And a lot of you say you don't do it. But yes, you do. Yes, you do. Who can tell me what number 3 is? Well, who thinks they know what number 3 is? And what you need to stop. J3, come on, Deborah. It's what you need to stop. Hey, Miss Mary. No. Remember, these are things you need to stop. You definitely need to jump. What's up, Angelia? Come on, Teresa. Come on, Lynette. They got it. They got it. IG, y'all tell me, what y'all think it is? The thing you need to stop that starts with a J. That too. Somebody over here said Jezebel. Deborah said stop juggling. That's a good one, but Leasia, that's a good one. That was actually number 2. Check it out. Baby, you got to stop being jealous. You got to stop being jealous. You have to stop looking at what other people have and feeling like, well, I'm better at that than them. I've been through more than them. They ain't even showing up the way that I do. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. You didn't see what they did. You don't know what happened prior to them getting to where they are now. You don't know what they've endured. You don't know what they've experienced. I had somebody tell me one time, that's when I started in comedy and stuff, and they was real smart at the mouth, and they was like, I don't see how y'all new comedians can just come through here and and you've accomplished that right there or whatever. Shoot, that need to be where I am. Me and my mama, we went to a show, and she was even telling me, you was better than all them on there and all this other stuff. And she loved you when we came over here and we had this show. She was like, who was that girl? I told her you was somebody new. I said, let me tell you something though. While you are being jealous of my status and jealous of the way that y'all think that I just came through and she came in and she took the stage and she did this and she did that. But you didn't understand that my mama not being here anymore. My mama has transitioned. That's what birthed the comedian in me. You just told me that you and your mom drove to this show. We totally different, sis. You willing to sacrifice your mom so that you can go to your next level? Because I don't have mine. When I get to the car, I can't call her and tell her how the show went. When they call me up on stage, I can't look out and see her sitting in the audience. When people start taking pictures and people wanting to interview your parents and they want to know how was Nikita when she was coming up, they can't ask her that. A lot of you guys have things that other people don't have. A lot of you guys have experienced some things that other people hadn't experienced. But at the same time, you don't know what somebody else has been through either. You don't know what they've experienced either. It's easy to look and wish you had something that somebody else had. I talk to a lot of people. I have coached and mentored a lot of people. And a lot of people ask me, they said, Nikita, how do you stay so positive? How do you stay inspired? How do you stay motivated? But they don't understand that me being the hope dealer and the purpose pusher came from a place when I did not want to wake up in the mornings. It came from a place where I was so depressed, I didn't want to be around people. It came from a place where I did not believe that I had a purpose. I didn't even know why I was still here. I didn't know if whatever I was doing made a difference. I went through all of those low emotional moments. That's why my perspective is so different. I force myself to look at things differently. And especially when it's something that bothers me. Especially when it's something that makes me have a heavy heart. Especially when it's something that I cannot change. I can't change it. I can't change it. Do you not know what I would give to be able to hear her voice? To be able to see her face? Do y'all not know how many times I've wanted to give up? And I mean give up. That's why when people talk to me and it's something that's negative and it's something that they feeling that have them down or something that have them overwhelmed or whatever the case may be, no, I'm not going to let you stay there because I keep the end in mind. I know at the end of that, it's not going to serve you. The way that you're looking at it, it's not going to serve you. And if you continue to look at it in that way, if you don't change the way that you see things, if you don't change the way that you respond to things, things will never change for you. And because I know that, that's why I give y'all the different perspectives. That's why I make sure that I'm going to show up in spite of. That's why I had to be open enough to hear people when they say, well, Keita, everybody's not going to respond to the way that you communicate. You very straightforward. You very assertive. And in my head, I'm like, well, hell, they don't need to talk to me then. I had to change my perspective. I had to understand that I don't know whose mouth the words that I need to hear is going to come out of. I don't know who he going to use. So I got to make sure that I present myself in a way that's friendly. I need to make sure that I present myself in a way that's open to hear, regardless of the way the person looks, the way they present themselves, the way they show up or whatever. I don't know who he going to use. I don't know who knows who. I don't know who connected with a person that's in a room that I desire to go in. And just because they owe that person a favor and that person right there, they mention my name that I get an opportunity. I don't know. I don't know who has been not doing what they need to do and haven't been building themselves up, hadn't been following their path, and they need a word of encouragement and I'm the one that give it to them, or they need clarity on something, I help them get clear to it, and then they mess around and they make it do what it do, and they remember that lady that answered them. They remember that lady that encouraged them or motivated them. I don't know who that person will be. And because I know that I'm not meant to make it by myself, because none of us are. I cannot jeopardize an opportunity by mistreating one of his children just because that child doesn't present the way I feel like they need to present. Because where I'm from and what I know about him is he'll make the least the greatest, and I know that he will. He'll turn things around. That person that's in the back right now, he'll bring them to the front. So when you're sitting in the front, you got to be real mindful of how you treat that person at the back when you first came in, because if you don't, you never know when they come to the front if they'll be sitting at that table beside you, if they'll be sitting at that table with you, or if they're going to replace you in the seat that you once had. Because we serve that type of God. If 2020 hadn't showed you nothing else, it should have showed you that anybody who desires to do something, you have the opportunity to do it. It's just that this whole crisis, this whole pandemic, it forced people to do things that they never thought that they would be able to do. Stop putting yourself in a position where you have to be forced to do what you are already fulfilled with. You already have a fulfillment, but it had to force it out of you. It should have shown you whatever you want to do, there's an opportunity and a space out there for you to do it. It should have shown you that there is not a lack of money anywhere. You may feel that kind of way right now because of the position you're in, but people still buying cars, they still buying houses, they still getting loans, they still making the most money they've ever made in their life. They still monetizing their ideas. They still going out. They still buying things. They're doing all of these things. Why? Because there's not a shortage in money. There's just a shortage of ideas and people that's willing to go out there and do it. There's not a shortage though. And the third thing that this year should have showed you is this. A person is who they are, and they are not going to change regardless of what your situation or what your circumstance is. If they weren't willing to tweak something, if they weren't willing to switch up something for you, if they weren't willing to shift a little bit, knowing the hell that you went through this year, it's showing you that no matter what the situation is, no matter what your crisis is, no matter how bad you needed them, if they don't desire to do it, they're not going to. So it should have showed you who the people are in your life. I don't care who you wanted them to be. It showed you who they truly are. Y'all know that I appreciate you. It's time for you to level up. It's time for you to invest in yourself and not just own yourself. It's time for you to actually be who you're pretending that you are. It's time for you to go after that thing that you desire to go after. Stop going after people and go after that thing. Well, Nikita, I really don't know how to do it. I don't know how to grow. You grow through servitude. The more you serve, the more you'll grow. I promise you that. But you have confused being a servant with being a slave. I'm not a slave for nobody. I appreciate you too, Mom. Y'all have to know the difference between what you think you're doing and what you're actually doing. I'm not going to obligate myself to people who don't even respect their own time. They don't respect their own space. Right? If you decide in your mind now that this year coming up is going to be one of the best years that you've had, things will align in a certain way that you will have decided, right? You have to become dedicated, though. You have to become dedicated. Discover those things about yourself that we talked about. You're not going to be able to do everything just like that, but if you do a little bit at a time and do a little bit every day, then it will be compounded and you will see your growth. I'm looking forward to hearing some amazing things from you guys. I'm positioning myself now to be able to help other people grow, to be able to help other people develop in a way that they desire to, but it's through investing. It's through them sowing in themselves. Because when you sow into me, you're sowing into yourself. Then I'm the one that's going to come to help you to be able to water, to be able to fertilize, to be able to do these things, because that seed is going to bring you a harvest. But I'm not interested anymore in going out and tilling the soil, getting the ground ready, digging the hole, having to force a seed, plant it myself, take care of it, nurture it, and do all these things, and then go day after day, watch it grow and develop. And then when the fruit come off, I look around me, and when I was going through all this and nobody's there, but then when you see the fruit, everybody is there, and they got a satchel, or they got a bag, or they got something to be able to put the fruit in, fruit that they had no effort or no time or no sweat or nothing into sowing into. Those days are over. And there's nothing in the Bible that tells you that that's what you need to do. Sometimes I feel like we read the scripture backwards. Sometimes I feel like, we over exhaust ourselves because we're in a competition just to show the Lord how willing we are, how great we are. But in his eyesight, it's very foolish. So he ain't going to be a fool with us. He's not going to continue to bless us with things that we're going to take advantage of. We're just going to throw out. We're going to let other people take from us. Yeah, he going to make sure that you don't do without. He said the seed ain't going to be begging for bread. He ain't going to go back on his word. Why? He ain't going to go back on his word because you silly. He going to make sure you got clothes, food, the typical things or whatever. But everything else in that little book of lies, but some of you call it a journal, I call it a book of lies because you ain't did nothing that's in it. If you want that journal to come to life, you have to put the action behind it to make sure that it does. Any questions at all? If you don't have any questions, and if all hearts and minds are clear, put clear in the comment bar. Happy New Year's to each and every one of y'all. Be safe, take care of yourself, love yourself, and love those who loving you. Clear? Yeah. Now may the Lord watch between me and thee, while we're absent one from another, here now and forevermore. And we all said, amen, amen, and amen. Remember, you are somebody, so am I. The Lord loves you, and so do I. Look, till next year. I'll see y'all next year. Woo, I'm out.